Dun, dun. Hey, True Believers England team here. When did I have this scheduled for? 9 or 9:30? I went to the movies today. Just got home, shoved a whole bunch of Popeye's chicken in my throat, which I'm probably going to regret that in about 5 minutes. And by the way, Low Man's feeling good today. He's showing respect and love right here. They do that by vomiting up their dinner, and then they it's not like, here's my dinner, now you eat it. It's they do that, and then they eat it themselves. But I do have my wipes, and that's why you hang around, because birds are beautiful, they're cute, a little bit gross. Yeah. Hey to everybody. I figure while we're waiting and just part of the show tonight, I got boxes. I got boxes today. A little one there and a big one as well. So I figure if Eric doesn't mind, I would like to show off some books that are going to be available for an auction. And here's Eric. Hey, Eric, what's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. My computer shut itself off a handful of times, and it reset the default, and I'm never 100% sure which is the right one.
All right. I was saying today he is back to normal, which I'm very happy for, because last night he really was just sneezing, lethargic. I guess he was just feeling bad, but feels very good. Like I said, huh?
Maybe it was cold.
Yeah, I did put him next to a heating vent, and he kind of cheered right up. It was in the 60s up here for a lot of time. Alrighty, it took 34 lines of Odyssey before E decided to show up. Okay. Oh, you were doing the Odyssey. When did I have this schedule? I thought I had it scheduled for 9:30.
9.
Shit, I'm half an hour. I honestly thought, I'm on time. No, I was half an hour late. God damn it. Sorry about that.
Did you miss the text I sent you?
Dude, the You Awake?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, when I saw it was at 9:05, that's when I was like, shit. I set it for 9, didn't I? I went and saw 2 movies today. One of them started at 6:20, got me out at 8:30. I stopped at the Popeyes, came home, sat down, had it. I was thinking 9:30 in my head, 9:30. And then when I was done, I came over and it was okay. Yeah, let's get the show started. I saw your message and thought, I fucked up. Professionalism. Thy name is not Englanding. All righty. 2 movies in one day. Bless your heart. Actually, I used to go where I would go in it when in summertime. It would open at 10 o'clock, and I would stay and see the 10 o'clock movie. So it would be like 10 to 1 a.m. sometimes. I'm not that obsessive with new movies anymore, but I saw time Alzheimer's kicking in with my memory. It may just okay. What are you after? Do you smell the chicken? Is that what you're going for, you little cannibal? But yesterday I saw Avatar, the Ash and Fire. I wanted to see it because if you're going to see an Avatar movie, see it on the big screen. Seriously, if you are interested at all. But then again, every time I fucking mention Avatar, some NPC has to walk around going, but it's Fern Gully. Big fucking deal. Fern Gully was Dances with Wolves. Clueless was Emma.
We're not doing this.
But okay. We'll do this instead. But today I saw a Kevin James movie called Sola Mia. It was actually pretty good. And Send Help, which I'm in for Sam Raimi anytime. Okay, kids, got some Marvel Tales right here. These are going to be in not tomorrow's auction, but a different auction. Marvel Tales number 3. Got a Marvel 2-in-1 number 2. And a Secret 6 number 6. Hey, how about a first appearance of Beppo the Super Monkey? I'm not kidding. That's his first appearance, guys. That's awesome. You're jealous, I know. Okay, then we have Superboy 107. We have Giant Size Superboy number 1. And then Superman issue number 193, which is also a giant size. And we've got Lois Lane issue number 45. I thought I would show off some comics. If you want to get right down to brass tacks, though, Eric, I am okay with that as well.
I'm just waiting. This could get interesting. I heard the loudest thunder I've ever heard in my life about 20 minutes ago.
Oh my gosh, it was coming down when I was in the theater today. Let's see. England team actually had his stream scheduled and was still late. Yes. That's what I'm saying. I could spend a day at the theater early in the 1980s, 90s, but not in 2020s. No way. Yeah. What was it? I did one where it was like, I may be wrong on this one, but I do remember seeing like Extinction with David Duchovny and 13th Warrior, Driven, and a couple of others. I can't remember what they are right now, but yeah, just all day long. It's not that Avatar is Fern Gully. It's that it's mediocre and bad science fiction. Also, it can't decide whether it wants to be science fiction or fantasy. It's fantasy. But the thing is, if you're interested even a little bit, it's the big screen you got to see these things on. That's what they're designed for. All right, boy, I need both hands. Usually when we're doing our shows, he's right there in the palm. And that's where he wants to be. Again, I need both hands. All righty. Oh, goodness gracious. This is a big old box. Oh, my goodness. So how was your sports ball today?
Nothing of interest today.
So it's kind of your sports day off, huh?
No, it's just the games are a lot less important than, yeah. I mean, I'm just watching as a fan. No dogs in any of the fights tonight.
Yeah. Well, I can recommend both, like I said, Solo Mia, and Send Help. Both of those were fun. Excuse me. Damn, this thing's packed tight. Holy shiitake mushrooms. Oh, look at this. This is the way this. Come on. Oh, fudge. Something's grabbed onto the wire down there. Ah, fuck. I just want to show the inside of a goddamn box. What is going on over there? Can't do it. I was wanting to show how this thing is packed up. Look at it. It is wall-to-wall comics here, but my camera said no, and now I'm in a Batman villain layer here from 1966. Okay, and fix the microphone. There we go. Bum, bum. Good evening, Maranya. How are you doing? Good evening, everyone in studios, audience, along with their four-footed companions when applicable. Alrighty. Oh, goodness gracious, where to begin? Yikes.
Well, it's not applicable to me right now because none of her four paws are on the ground.
Well, mine only has two.
My belly mode.
Alrighty. The one that's trying to eat my bird, the cat that's trying to eat my bird is trying to make up with me. Once I rubbed his tummy. So every time he sees me, he gets right under my feet and he rolls over. And I'm just thinking, yeah, I know some people would think that's cute, but that's just one place for me to kick.
My cat said, why am I listening to this old man drone on? We usually listen to jazz. A little beret on and everything. Yes, Anthony drinks a lot of coffee and smokes 2 packs a day now. That's terrible.
You've got a cat that's a beatnik?
She's learned how to snap her paws.
There you go. Got a little bit of the Goofy movie in him. That would be Extreme Goofy movie. I'm sure you get the reference.
Actually, I don't.
Alrighty. Now this is something I got to talk to them because I got charged a shit ton to ship, and they combined shipping on a couple of things here. Let's see. Dazzler number 34. There we go. And let's see. We got Dazzler number 10. Dazzler number 20. Defenders issue number. Really? Defenders issue number 88. We got some Gil Kane greatness with Green Lantern 180. What if Loki had found the hammer of Thor? Iron Man 144. Amazing Spider-Man Annual 17. Iron Man 166 and 165. What if Doctor Strange had not become a master of the mystic arts? X-Men number 182. Iron Man number 168. Doctor Strange number 55. I'm sorry, that must have been 158. Because this is 168. 134. Doctor Strange number 51. Iron Man number 164. Another 158. And Green Lantern issue 178. The Vengeance of Vampirella issue number 4. What If number 34, the comedy issue. What If number 44. What If Captain America were revived today back in the 80s. Doctor Strange number 54. Doctor Strange number 52. Doctor Strange number 56. Doctor Strange number 50. What If number 37, the Beast and the Thing continue to mutate. James Bond, For Your Eyes Only, issue number 1. Coolness. What is your card? Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Then Doctor Strange would be known as Dr. Dazzler. Let's go, says Austin. All right. Does your cat say you're hip, Daddy-O?
She says, hi-fi is a square.
All righty. Yeah, I was gonna show off some comics and then we can get to the thing here. This is not going to be in tomorrow's. Tomorrow I'm going to put some originals, but a lot of it's going to be stuff you've seen before at a discount. Oh my goodness. I mean, if you guys want, I'll stop doing this and we could go straight to the thing if you want. What do you think, Eric?
Gee, I don't know. Half the chat's going, let's go.
All right. No, if you guys don't want, no, you know. All right. So let's go. Here we go. And what we were going to talk about what got you into comics. So I don't know. Do you want to go first? Do I? And also we want to hear from the chat. What was the book? What was the book? What was the moment? Was there a story behind it? Like, what is it that got you into comics? What is it that kept you and made you a collector? That's the kind of that's just kind of what we were talking about. You want to go first here, Eric?
Sure. I remember when I was a kid. I was a baseball card kid. I remember a time at some drugstore in town over from where I lived, picked up a Justice League because it was the one that where Batman's carrying the Flash and the Flash is supposedly dead. And I don't know why I got it. And I remember getting like a couple other comics, like never more than one at a time. But in, I want to say like September or so of 75, I was at a baseball card show. And I think Phil had started messing around with comics a little bit. And one of the card dealers down there happened to have a stack of comics. And I got Spider-Man 31, which at the time didn't mean anything, but it was the first Harry and first Gwen, and number 34. Yeah. And I think I got them for like 50 cents for both. I bought a bunch of cards that day, but I picked those up because I said, a lot of times kids like to emulate their brother. And so since he was into it, I wasn't. I read him. I kind of liked him, and I think a couple of weeks, maybe a month later, I was at another drugstore with my uncle, and I was just kind of like staring at the comic rack. And I remember I picked up Fantastic Four 167, Iron Man 83, Superman, I want to say 297 or 8, Batman 272. These were all cover dated February. Like Detective Comics, or no, at that time, Action Comics 456, I think. And I want to say Tomb of Dracula. And from that moment, I would pick up comics every time my allowance or anytime I had spare money. And then, it was right at the end of the year or the beginning of 76, I can't remember, we got Superman, Spider-Man. So, and that was just enormous. And I thought, man, this hobby is really fun. I like this. And there was a guy that sold, it had like a little comic book store out on the highway down a couple miles from where I lived. I remember picking up a couple of, a stack of back issues. I remember Spider-Man 101, which again, first Morbius, but that didn't mean shit in 1975 or 6. That
75, 85.
that DC 100-page super spectacular that you auctioned off the other night with the Batman, the Two-Face story. I remember that was one of them. And then I remember there was this record shop up in Clifton called Moles, and they were called Moles and Back Pages. The front of the store was used records. The back of the store were stacks of back issues of Rolling Stones and comic books. And I thought that was the coolest place in the world. And just, my brother got out. I didn't. And I've been, buying and collecting ever since. That was what, 50 years ago now? 51 years ago?
50. What year do you think?
Well, I know it was 75 when I started. So I guess, somewhere in the year 51 right now.
That is something. I think that's kind of funny because that's I am 10 years younger than you. And we have a similar date for when we first picked up the hobby.
Yep.
I think you probably would have become a collector a lot sooner than I did because, I was being as young as I wasn't really in a position to buy a lot of the things that I had bought, that I would get. It first started. Give me just a second here. I want to bring up a couple of covers and visual aids here. I'm almost close to. I like to do that for both of us if possible, but you named off a lot of them, and I was like, yeah, I can't do that. I was trying to keep up, like I was going to pull, like if you brought up like one book or two books, I could just bring them up, but it was like, quite a few. So anyway, my mom and dad were big into reading, and they wanted us to be big into reading as well. Obviously, they prefer novels and such like that, but just so long as we were reading something, that's what they wanted. This is way before the Fawn showed up and said, "Hey, kids, get a library card." By the time he did that, I already had one, but I wanted to go get another when he said that. Even though my mom had one for me, I wanted to go get another one because the Fonz told me to. And you know what? We'll listen to the Fonz. The Fonz and Mr. T were our moral compass in the 70s and 80s. But they did take us to the library. I did not know what this was. I honestly did not know what this was until you told me, and I am very grateful. Little man, I'm going to put you on the shoulder. Okay, so you hang out there. But this is the book I got from the library. It's called I'm just kidding. It's called The Great Comic Book Heroes, and it is a collection of stories from the Golden Age. What is amazing as I'm reading, I thought I remembered, but I never as an older person, I never thought it was real that this is a book that had, I swear to God, I read Plastic Man, Hawkman, The Flash, which of course told me they just reprinted The Flash #1, Flash Comics #1. But I swear to gosh, I read Captain America and Human Torch as well. And I was kind of thinking it was cool that they have those stories in here. You know, they have the Human Torch, and they've got a Submariner story. They've got the Spirit even in here. It was a great introduction to the golden age of comics. Now, I didn't know it was golden age. You know, obviously I'm 4 years old. I'm just picking it up and I'm seeing pictures and words, and I'm loving this shit. By the way, I love Spectre. Plastic Man, Spectre, The Flash, loved them all. And I was like, this is really cool. This is really cool. I loved it. So anytime we would go, my dad started saying, you have to get a real book. That's what he said. It's a real book. I actually call comic books now. But my pops would say, you have to get a real book. You can't just get these picture books. You can't get comic books. You got to get something real, even if it was like Charlotte's Web or something like that. But this is what it was. This is what kicked it off. I bought this for my birthday. I got this for myself for my birthday when I learned what it was. Like a near mint one. I know somebody's selling for like 50 or 60. I think I got that one for 20. It's a little beat up, but it's really cool. And that's what drugged me. That's what said, you know what? This is really cool. I want to read comics. But my mom and my dad were the ones that were buying the books for me. So it was very much Harvey Comics. And I couldn't tell you what was the first. I read a lot of Whitman with like Beetle Bailey. I do know my favorite was Hot Stuff. But I loved Richie Rich and Little Lotta, Little Dot, the Casper the Friendly Ghost comics. I was big into Harvey at the time, or even Disney. Like the Donald Duck books always thrilled me. This Beetle Bailey, Sergeant Snorkel, Sad Sack. I read basically any cartoon comic that I could. Whenever I had my own money, I would go and I would grab a superhero book. I remember one time, I don't know the timeline. It's so far back, but I know one time I bought a copy of X-Men. I want to say 119. It was of Magnus Moses. And I'm sitting there drinking my drink and reading it with one hand. And after I was done, I needed my hand. So I folded it up, put it in my back pocket. Wouldn't do that now. But then again, it wouldn't cost me 30 cents to get an X-Men 119 either. But my brother one time had a friend. Couldn't tell you his name to save my life, but they were going to go to a comic book shop opened in Orlando, and it was called Enterprise 1701. They got sued, so they had to drop the 1701. But I remember going, and they were talking, oh, this is going to be worth a lot of money, and that's going to be worth a lot of money. So I looked at a comic book, and I swore that this one right here was going to be worth a gajillion dollars. This is Justice League 153 because Ultra was cool, man. Ultra was badass. So I bought that and loved it. I thought it was really cool and just kept going. We found a bookstore called Duga's Bookstore near our school. Two old Jewish people. They wouldn't let us buy The Dark Knight because it was too adult. But I saw a book, and I swear to God, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get the first appearance of Thor. And it was like $8 at the time. So I was really excited. And she would not let me. I wanted to put it on layaway. She wouldn't let me until I got my mom to say it's okay. And she said it was okay. And I paid off so much of it. There was like $1 left, and my mom came down, and she almost didn't let my mother pay for it. Like I had to come up with the money myself. I'm like, where the fuck do you think my money's coming from anyway? I'm like 13. But it's funny because this is the one I bought right here. This was my first major purchase. This comic book cost a fucking whopping $6. And I thought it was badass. And tell you the truth, it was about in that condition too. And I love this book. Thor is cool, man. And look at that cover. That's a badass cover. So that was my first golden age I bought. And I kept buying comics, but what really got me was I found a shit ton of bottles. Like I would always go hunting for, by the way, I did make a video saying all of this. And I found this one shop. It was a 7-Eleven. They were having a sale, get rid of all the books on their rack. It was like 10 cents a piece. And I bought a whole bunch. I bought a Tales from the Green Lantern. I bought a Teen Titans. I bought all sorts of really cool things. But the one that got me, and this is why it's on the wall, even though it's only a $3 book, the one that really got me was Dial H for Hero. It's Adventure Comics number 479. And this is the first reboot of the Dial H for Hero. And I thought this was cool. This is 2 kids. This is teenagers. Not too much older than I am. And as a teenager, if you wanted to, you could send in your own suggestion what to do for a hero and such. And mine was the baseball kid. I traced something. There used to be like baseball magazines and all sorts of stuff for kids. And I traced a guy off the cover and I sent it in. And he had all sorts of sports related equipment. I didn't realize I created the Sports Master, basically. And I sent it in. And of course, I got rejected. But I did reach out for the video I made. I reached out to some people. I saw their names. I found them on Facebook, and they told me what it was like to win. They got like a t-shirt. One guy says, if I got it now, I would never have worn that t-shirt. I would have framed it and all that kind of stuff. They got a letter. They got your comic book was in this, like a certificate and such. And I thought that was really cool. But that's my beginning. That's the beginning of the journey there. After a while, I don't know if it was the comics that made me a bit of an outsider, or my sense of an outsider that caused me to just kind of delve more into the geek culture and such that wasn't really a thing. I mean, this is a time when you could get your ass whipped for reading comics, and for those of you who are enjoying now, you're welcome. You're welcome. From me and Eric and the people who had to endure this kind of shit, But that was it. I remember taking comic books to school and trading them with my other comic book geek friends. Here, I haven't read that. Here, you can have my copy of Alpha Flight. Thank you for your copy of Arak. Go ahead, sir.
Did you watch? Did you watch Modern Family when it was on?
Yeah. And a couple of times since.
Do you remember the episode where Mitchell is, chaperoning the high school dance, and the most popular kid in the school is just an outlandish gay kid, and he's just obnoxious as hell, and Mitchell gives him the speech about how guys like him paved the way, took all the slings and arrows and persecution, blah blah, so you could run around and be an obnoxious twink.
Yep.
And then he said, well, did they appreciate it? And Mitchell goes, oh no, they shoved me in a locker. Because I used to make the joke that there were 2 closets you didn't dare come out of in those days, and comic collecting was the other.
Yep. Yeah. It was something because we were sitting right in lunch. Here's our, and we did have some people. I got to admit though, it really was when we first started it that it really was something. It ran in the school paper that we had a comic book club and all that kind of stuff. And towards the end, people started to back off a bit, except for in private. It's like publicly, it'd be like, oh, that's really cool, but. If you were caught by yourself in the hallway by the wrong person, it's time to knuckle up, because you can't take an ass whooping without letting the person that's trying to give it to you, without letting them know there's a price for it. So that's actually a lesson taught to me by my father. If someone's going to kick your ass, you make sure they never want to try it again. That was his thing. You may get beat, but they will not want to mess with you again. But that's
what changed for you and me in that ensuing decade was video games.
Yeah.
You know, those started, I mean, they were still primitive, but by the mid to late 80s, just about every kid was playing them, and that, you know, and that kind of loosened it up for, you know, other nerd trappings.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Still, I think like people would make fun. Oh, you're at home playing Nintendo. I'm out driving cars and getting chicks. When I met Gail, by the way, when I met Gail, it was like, whoa, God came down and said, this is the one to fuck this up. And I almost did, by the way, but because I didn't realize the first time, like, I was I actually, on my wall, I plastered all my key issues. We didn't even call them key issues back then, but not really. But I actually made it like a wallpaper, not with the comics. I actually pinned the bag and backing boards, and the comic was just sitting there, and I had them all over there. I mean, my room looked like your house. So action figures on the top, Marvel Treasuries, the comic books. I actually had them from the most expensive all the way down to the least, as far as key issues were concerned. And Gail saw that and went, huh, cool. That's it.
We got a couple of partial origins, but before you read those, say, Austin, I'm going to say Pong, because I don't think I've played a video game since 1980.
That was, by the way, the first game I played. It was a little different than like on the Atari or even Nintendo or anything. You had to put a film over your TV, and you had some sort of remote control. And yeah, I remember we used to get together, watch the Star Trek cartoon, and then we'd play a game of Pong. Or if at a certain point in time they had the reruns of Star Trek, we'd watch Star Trek and then play games. Holy shit, I was a nerd. I was a big ass nerd back in the day. You know, but fuck it, you know. I told Elizabeth this too, because I was that way. Yeah, and there were times when I was embarrassed. You know, I wanted the girls, you know. A lot of times it was actually pretty easy. I mean, I had some good long blonde hair and everything. Girls loved it. But they would never be accepting of the hobby. You know, you like Star Wars? Well, yeah, I like Star Wars. I love Star Trek. That still goes today, though. Let's see. Rhaegar, old school Hollywood baseball. Jack Giardi was 10 feet tall, old school Hollywood baseball. Me and Frankie Avalon. System of Down, says Rhaegar. I have no idea what that is. I know what a System of Down is. I'm just kidding. I was 3, says Jim. First book was Three Musketeers sometime during kindergarten. It was the first one I read. All righty. Eric and Boyd took off. I hope he's doing well. Maranya says, I grew up getting comic books. Man, Maranya, you should be. Oh, I didn't share it out where Maranya could. But I was about to say, Maranya should be up here telling her story also, you know, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Yeah, let me put out the share for her here. If you believe in love after life. Or is it life after love? I don't know. One or the other. I'll put this out to some people who may have stories to tell. Well, this is the story. Sorry. 3 bad brothers you know so well started way back in history with that rap. Here we go. Alrighty, I just shared it out. Maranya, Trusty, One Slick. There you go. Some of us old farts who remember the day. Back in the day. We're all back in the day now. All right, let's see. I grew up getting into comic books once a year in summer from around 10 to 15 years old, 72 to 77, to put a date on it. Getting hooked on comics that didn't happen until I was 16. And the book that hooked her was Iron Man. That is a shocker. That is what we call a twist. Yes. Visual aids, says Rhaegar. Yes. My grandma worked in the drugstore and took all of the coverless books home for us grandkids, says Jim. That's kind of awesome. By the way, on the sale tomorrow, I'm going to have a whole bunch of those, the ones that didn't get sold off the scratch and dent sale. When you get a disease that eats your out, what? I've shared my first comic story, but that was long before I really got into comics. I read on occasional comic as a kid and teenager like Bone, but only watched the superhero shows and movies. And Rhaegar's asking, the Fawns could read? Well, yes, but the thing is he wasn't a reader until he got his library card and then told everybody, it's cool to get a library card, little Aaron. You should go out and get one. And I said, oh my gosh, he called me by name. Austin says, I was in my junior year when that came out, Endgame. I loved it at the time, but after I walked out of the theater, I had a quarter life crisis moment. What I've been waiting for all my teenage life is past. That's sad if you peaked at 25. What am I going to do now? Eventually, I went through the YouTube videos on the original comic stories and thought, well, there's 80 years of stories. I will never run out. That is true. That is true. Go with the back issues. Oh, what is your problem? What is your problem? Don't yell at me. Don't yell at me. What? Huh? I thought so. He bit the shit out of me, by the way. I don't know why. Something must have freaked him. There you go. There you go. No. All righty. Yes. On this channel, we get into an argument with a 2-ounce bird. So I started going out to the comic shops asking for Omnibuy and for Christmas, eventually finding out East Channel does cheap comic auctions. Woohoo! Yes, he does. And here's Maranya. What's up, lady?
Oh, I'm just settling in with my move.
Okay,
because we were living with the grandniece of our grandniece sort of thing, great niece, and they decided, we're going to move to a house, and it's like we had to go scramble and find a place, and we did, and we are here now. We're still in Florida. We're still in Jacksonville. Yeah. But yes, this is a new place, and settling in. And I gave you my address to send stuff to, which is not this place.
Which, by the way, Dom sent some stuff to me, so I've got stuff to send to everybody. I'm going to try to get it out before. I think the last one to go was Zach, and he sent his. I sent his like maybe 2 weeks before the next Christmas.
Yep.
Hello to One Slick.
Hey, One Slick.
How are we doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I'm in a good mood. I saw 2 good movies, and now we get to talk about. I get to talk about myself, and that's always awesome.
Yeah. Well, did you want me to expand on my story about the comic books, or what?
Let me finish up on a couple of comments, and then
sure.
I'll give it to you. Jim said most of the books I got from her were DC Superman, Brave and the Bold, War and Westerns, the Marvel, were mainly Marvel 2-in-1 and Team Up. Can't forget about the Archie and Harvey books. Same here. Let's see. The very first comic book I bought, says Austin, was I made a realization Fantastic Four 316 at local comic shop, the Dragon's Keep. Henry is saying, can't remember, inherited from 3 older brothers, 62 to 71, started buying 72. Dad tossed them when we moved. Oh my gosh. Who doesn't have that story? I'm still waiting for us to go back to Texas to a storage we had in 1985 to get my freaking X-Men collection. The entire Chris Dave Cockrum
not be there.
It might not. I think they may have auctioned it off at this point. Let's see. Dad tossed and we moved. One Survivor, Spider-Man 49, Lost Hulk 181, Spider-Man 120. Yep, I had these. I had 129. I had Hulk 181. I don't know if I ever had Wolverine or Werewolf 32 though. Let's see. Collecting comics was basically like being secretly gay, says Rhaegar. Yes. let's see, and I think we're getting omnibuses or omnibuy. My first game was one of the Tony Hawk games. I love those things when they came out. We got rid on the Xbox. No idea which one. We got rid of it to get the Wii. Oof. There we go. Okay, who is Zach? I know. Just got here, England team. What's my origin story? You tell me. But in the meantime, while you're writing that out, we're on you. Please expand.
Okay, on the comic book thing, like I said, we used to go once a year to Long Beach, North Carolina, and I'd pick up a stack of books for like $3. And they never made it home. I don't know why they never made it home. I think my mom kind of said, "Yeah, they're for summer, and that's it." And then when I was 16, we visited friends of my parents, and their son, who was about a year or two older than me, happened to have long boxes of comics, and I'm a voracious reader. I've been since I was 2 years old. And he said, "Okay, let's, you want to read these?" I said, "Sure, why not?" And then he handed me a long box of Iron Man. And I'm just sitting there going, devouring it like it's like gold. And then he also had other ones like the 2-in-1s and some of the team ups that had him in it and other things. But that was my summer. Every Sunday when we go over there, I would be like, "Oh, hi, how you doing? Where's the books?" kind of thing. It was like my personal library. And then eventually I got into books when I was in my early 20s, like Arion, Amethyst, collecting my own Iron Mans and such.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you were into AI back then?
I was what?
You were into AI back then?
Oh, pretty much, yeah.
Or A&I.
A&I. But in terms of, I never got the flack that they say, "Oh, women in comics, you were shunned." I never got that. What I did get in trouble for when I was a kid was being smart and a girl and knowing about like bionics, cybernetics, things like that. For the $6 Million Man, I actually could tell you what it did and how it did it back then. I couldn't do it now, but I could back then. And they gave me grief about it. Say, "Oh, you're just a girl," kind of thing. Yeah,
I don't remember seeing anyone say that to a girl at a comic shop. Usually, if a girl walked into the comic shop, it was like,
it's like, "Ooh, cool." Yeah,
if she was even halfway attractive, "Oh, look at her."
I was halfway decent back then.
Yeah. You can ask her out. Would you ask her out? I'll ask her out. You want to? I don't know.
Well, I didn't get hit on. That's the thing. I never got hit on. But I was also shy back then. So,
are you okay? Yeah. You gonna calm down a little bit? He grabbed some of my tea off the lid, and now he's.
Oh, he actually does. But yeah, I grew up with like the comic strips more than comic books, like Prince Valiant and all those back in the day. And Pogo was a favorite. On
Pogo? Pogo. Oh, okay. Yeah. Pogo. Okay. Walter Kelly. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And
good stuff.
Oh, very good stuff. And
for those, I read a lot of the comedy strips, but because there was a short time for me to read like Spider-Man, the Superman, Tarzan, but then they left, and all that was left was the comedy stuff, and that's when we got like Bloom County and not Heathcliff, but Garfield and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, Heathcliff was around too, but also I remember in the early 80s they had the Spider-Man Daily in, I think it was the Star of the Coast. You also had the Incredible Hulk. You had Star Wars as well.
I remember those. Yeah,
those are their art was really, really good. The one that I thought was the goofiest of all the action adventures. I love Steve Canyon, but Mark Trail was the goofiest art. They had some great stuff in them, but the art was just like I just can't.
Now I actively search for the collections. Mm-hmm. Like I just the last comic show I went, I got a Beetle Bailey, and the one before that. I got a giant size Popeye. I mean, these are like little golden treasures here that oh my gosh, I can't believe I found that collection of comic strips. Yeah, it's.
I appreciate that, Spiffy. I will be a Beatles song this August.
Say what?
I will be
When you're 64.
64. My brother hit that last year, so I'm hitting it this year.
Right. I think both of you are, aren't you, Eric?
Yeah, Eric. See, the way it is in the 62 club that Eric, Dr. Silverage, and I belong to. Eric is the older brother. Dr. Silverage Rod is the middle brother. I'm the youngin. I'm the last of the three.
Yeah, I took a look at the calendar from May 6th and said, yeah, I'd hit that.
Yeah, you hit that.
Speaking of, I just reached out to Rod and he said he's going to pop up in chat here.
Oh.
So if you're in chat, Rod, give us a shout. Let us know.
Yeah, Rod.
In the meantime,
yes.
We will. We're going to invite our now our resident 30-year-old and one slick dude, and he can tell us his comic book story.
Well, my first comics I was reading weren't actually my own. My cousins, who lived about 2/10 of a mile away from me, when I would go to visit them, they had comic books because their dad was a truck driver, and he would buy comic books when he was out traveling and bring them home for them. Oh. So when I went over there, we'd get to read comic books. And probably about a year after that started, they decided they were going to get rid of a lot of their older comics that they'd read a lot or ones that were coverless. So they gave them to me. And the one book that I really read it till it was, it was pretty ragged. And it was an Iron Man and a Submariner story.
Oh.
I couldn't tell what it was because there was no number in the indica.
Huh. Oh,
so it wasn't until about 1979 when I was into the buying comics that I picked up a 1968 one-shot Iron Man and the Submariner and started reading it and realized it was the same comic.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was either that or Tale of Suspense with old Subby in it.
But the one shot, they weren't in the same story, were they?
Yeah,
they were.
It was a one-shot story of Iron Man and the Submariner, and it came out before they each went into their own series.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not to be the contrarian, but they crossed over in Tales of Suspense 80 and Astonish 82. The one shot was just it had the Iron Man, an Iron Man and a Submariner story carried over from the two Tales books before their individual series started. If you go back and check the tapes, you'll see that I'm pretty sure I'm right on that.
I think you are actually correct on that.
But what I'm saying though is that was the book
that you had
that I was reading,
and you didn't realize it.
I didn't realize it until 13 years later, because I got these books from them, different ones. I mean, I remember reading Metal Men, Ragman, Action, Superman, Detective, Batman, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and that. And then when in the 70s, when I was old enough to start doing odd jobs and earning my own money, I went out and started buying comics. I would go to the 5 and dime store, and I would buy the 3 or 4 or 5 pack of comics, open them up so I could get, the most comics for the money,
Yeah.
But, and that was what snowballed and got me into it. And I really started to take off big into it in the 80s and the 90s, early 90s. One of the best hauls I got was in the early 90s when I was driving around the state. I would go to different places and stop in different stores and shops looking for these things. And I stopped once in an antique shop. And I went in and I'm looking around this place and I find a stack of comic books sitting in the back. And I'm looking at them, and this gentleman had the place, comes up to me and he goes, I'll make you a deal on those books. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And I go, how much? He goes, I'll do $60 for the whole stack. And there was about 75, 80 books there. And of the books that were there was a lot of different stuff. There was like Iron Man issue 2 through 15. There was a lot of Dell comics in there, 4-color Zorros, some Disneys in that. There was a lot of different variety of Silver Age comics and stuff in it. And I was surprised at the $60, and I told him, okay. I said, but I still wanted to look around. Mm-hmm. And so I'm looking around the shop, and they have all kinds of stuff in there, and I see a piece of paper sticking out on top of one of these shelves. Now, I didn't want to get in trouble, but I kind of climbed up on the shelf and grabbed this thing off the top and pulled it down, and it was a Donald Duck comic book. So I took it up to the guy. I said, how much with this one? He looks at it, throws it on the pile, says same price.
Whoa.
So I paid for it, and I got out of there. And the one that he threw up there on top for free was a 4-color issue number 178, Christmas on Bear Mountain, the first appearance of Uncle Scrooge McDuck.
Oh man!
As soon as you said Christmas on Bear Mountain, I was like, oh shit, that's some serious book right there.
Yeah.
And afterwards, after I left, I checked out the books and what they were going for, and I paid $60 for about $5,000 worth of comics.
That is a very sweet deal.
Yeah. I had a similar thing where you go, I've seen something in a comic book and you don't remember which book it was in. It was one panel of Spider-Man going, oh boy, I'm paralyzed. And how am I going to get out of this one? And you think, oh, it's a Spider-Man book, right? Well, it kind of was. It was Marvel Team Up number 9.
Nice.
With I found it later when I got a Treasury edition of it back in the late 80s, which unfortunately has gone with the ways, over various moves. But it was actually, like I said, Marvel Team Up number 9, which starred a certain Golden Avenger, which is kind of why I was like, oh, I would kind of like that. But that's one panel that stuck in my mind for years. I'm going, what book is it in? What book is it in? And I finally found it. So I get some comments. And
let me grab some comments. Yep.
And first, let me say first to Dr. Silverage, good to see you. I miss you on Saturday mornings.
All right. Let's see. Rhaegar says nerds are scared to talk to girls. The Big Bang Theory said it, so it must be true. But then again, they said that, but each of them ended up married at the end. Well, except for the Indian dude. Let's see. I would have been a fan of the Hulk, but I didn't find him very credible.
All
right.
Man.
Born 50s, the England team story coming soon. Well, I was bald and fat, so at least, I looked a little bit alike. Rhaegar, he wasn't born looking like that. He used to be in an 80s hair metal band and married life. Everybody was in a garage band in the 80s.
I remember. I've seen the pictures of you with the hair. So yes.
Okay, I've had this thought while driving today. What would these streams look like if E. Breen, Maranya Venkman, and all the others were doing this in their 24-year-old selves?
Oh, 24. What was it?
Well, we probably have. With the way I looked, we would probably have more female viewers. I was hot.
Well, I was 24. I was in college. I looked pretty decent.
All righty.
Well, I'd say I would have looked damn good.
Yeah.
I'd probably have a beer in my hand.
Yeah. I probably would have had a Coca-Cola in my hand.
Now, I'm kidding about the looking good, but Maranya has seen a picture of me before I exploded. So she knows what I looked like.
The
pre-stroke days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What different topics and personalities would be different? What different topics? I don't think I would be as political. Like I wouldn't drift towards politics the way I did. I was still a Republican. Even back then, my personality would probably be a lot less cynical. I think I got more cynical over the years.
That's me too. Me too.
Yeah. So and the topics, of course, I don't know. Would we be 24 now? Or would we be 24 back in? For me, it would have been 1994 for
Us
Eric,
would
and yeah, it would have been in the 80s, right?
Yeah, it would be 86. Yep.
I'll tell you also, at age 24, I can tell you with 100% certainty that I was reading better comics than you kids are today.
Oh, likewise. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Well, when I was 24, I had read those same comics that he read at 24, but I was reading 90s comics, but I was reading the good shit. You know, I was into the Vertigo stuff. I was almost 100% done with Marvel at that point. Marvel, when Ron Perlman, not Hellboy, but the guy who did the bands like NSYNC and all that, when he bought Marvel, he really turned it into a factory. Creativity didn't matter as much as sell. At one point in time, he said, well, if X-Men sell well, put an X in front of everything, make everybody a mutant. They didn't go full throttle on that, thank God. But I started dropping Marvel, but I still read the good shit. I read the good independents. I read Bone. I read Sandman and Hellblazer and whatever the Alan Moore was writing at the time, you know. So, but still, I think those are better than they are today. I don't know. Let's see.
Back in the 80s, man, I was buying every title that was out there on the racks.
Not me.
Literally.
I could never afford that, but I came damn close. Let's see. Grand Admiral is saying, my origin started with Amazing Spider-Man newspaper strips and the cartoons. Then my first actual comics I got from my papa when I got chicken pox and was in lockdown in the house. He got me the first few Star Wars books and Micronauts #7, hence my love of robots and swamp creatures. Ooh. I sold that Man-Thing issue, or the Micronauts issue with the Man-Thing in it. Dr. Silverage, hello. Should we send a link?
Yeah.
Hi there, folks. I love the subject and hearing the stories Eric told me about the topic tonight and thought I'd listen in.
I can send it to him on Instagram if he wants to join.
If he wants to join, no pressure. If you don't, that's fine. But
he's got to go down into the cold basement to do that.
Oh, this is true, but we can try.
I'm going to jump back into the chat. Out of voice.
Eric told me about your topic tonight, and I thought I'd listen in. Great to. Go on ahead, One Slick.
Yeah, I'm going to jump out of chat and back into the chat and back out of voice because others have gone to bed and I don't want to keep talking. So,
all righty, you have. Well, we'll see in the chat.
Take care, One Slick. Take care, One Slick.
Let's see. Spiffy, my very first comic where Spider-Man given. Oh, by the way, to talk about the. What Grand Admiral said about the Super Friends were a big deal cartoon. That and something called the Samurai 7 or something like that. And Hercules, he's a big fat phony. Hercules.
Shoot.
Made of cheese and bologna, run for his life with a rubber knife. Something like that. Anyway.
I grew up with the Grant Ray Spider-Man, which is actually one of the better animated Spider-Man animated cartoons of that day. That and Fantastic Four were the best ones.
For us, it was na 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 na.
Oh yes.
Dun, dun, dun,
What?
dun, dun.
I've actually found those online.
They're on Disney Plus. The Spider-Man is Amazing Friends.
Well,
me and Gail watched them.
We
watched the first episode yesterday.
I have copies of them. I found them on Internet Archive. I have the Spider-Man and his Amazing and Friends.
Right. Spiffy says, let's see, were Spider-Man given to me when I was in 3rd grade, origins for Doc Ock, Electro, Lizard, and Vulture, and also a Sandman comic where he was trying to steal a high school diploma.
Ooh.
I'd pay to have those again, says Spiffy. Grand Admiral says, few years later, the first I picked out for myself while visiting my grandparents, I got the Transformers Marvel Team Up number 38.
Ooh.
The Transformers and Marvel Team Up 38. And what if the Fantastic Four lost the Trial of Galactus?
Ooh.
Oh, that's in the second. Give me like 2 months and I will forward you 250 if you promise to find me the. I'd have to have numbers.
Yeah.
And I will go on the hunt. Oh,
Nerd
I just say again.
Nerd alert. Team Up
Right.
38, Spider-Man and the Beast. They fight the Griffin. Begins with him fishing a dead body out of the Hudson River.
Back is your brain, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I call him that. All righty. Spiffy
Now ask
Gonzalez.
about the Transformers.
What do you know about the Transformers?
Oh, shit.
Nothing.
Well, I was hoping you would say they're outside almost every neighborhood.
No, they're more than meets the eye.
That's about all I know.
Yep.
Same here.
Oh, I just remember the most consistent time I ever read comics intentionally before Endgame was the Star Wars comics. I was a huge fan of Disney Star Wars at the time. You know what? A lot of people that do read the Star Wars comics that read the Marvel, the Charles Soule, the early stuff, I would say before 2016, maybe 2017.
Yeah.
People swear on those. They're good. I read those. They're pretty good. I've actually got some ready for auction. They're really good.
Yeah, the old Star Wars.
You knock it off.
And also the Dark Horse Star Wars was really good too.
Yes. Are you kidding me? If I could ever get Dark Horse Star Wars, I'm a happy camper. I would read Vader, Doc Opera, Shattered Empire, and Thrawn, and they had had it in the junior high library. I'd have to reread them to be sure if they were good or not.
Well,
let's see. Yep, only the audience has the real power to accept what's canon. I agree with that, by the way. I've said that a lot. I say that about movies all the time. Well, they made this movie and it ruined the. No, it didn't. I learned that from Stephen King. I read an interview. I think it was in one of his books on writing or something like that. Mm-hmm. And somebody had asked them, what do you think about these films that ruin your books? He goes, my books aren't ruined. They're right here. You know, he says there, you can read the book. You don't have to watch the movie. If you don't like the movie, just read the book from now on. And that is the way comic books always work like that. You know, I mean, especially when it comes to DC, you know, before Crisis, DC Comics, they were written in the golden age, and it was, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we made Superman move a planet? So all of a sudden, canon starts meaning something. Superman's pushing planets around with his fingers. And so obviously when John Byrne comes along, they depower him, because now up until then, everybody believed, you know, of course, now they've got, what is it called? Superman Prime, where he can destroy a planet and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. They brought it back. Summoner says, in my case, family member was cover artist for the Argentinian kids magazine Bilkin, and the first one to feature Superman stories in the region. I inherited hundreds of magazines, 3 big boxes of them. I did get a collection from my uncle. I don't remember a lot of them. I do remember Daredevil number 8 being one of them. But my cousin, she wanted to read in the bathroom, so she took my Daredevil number 8. And well, not the bathroom, but the bathtub. And she sat there and she just, you can see the big water stain because she let it sit in the water. Yeah. Who knew back then? Let's see. Also, I tried so hard to enjoy Disney canon, and maybe I still could, but everything they do, is just a rip off of the old stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, speaking about a rip off of the old stuff, I thank you, because I wanted to tell Eric this. I know Eric likes sports. I don't know how much you like sports movies. Do you remember a movie called Youngblood?
I want to say the name's vaguely familiar, but I know I haven't seen it.
Hockey movie. I believe it's got Rob Lowe in it and such. They're remaking it. Yeah, I saw the trailer for it today. They're remaking it, and they race swapped them. I'm like, how are you going to fucking race swap a hockey player? This is like race swapping some Game of Thrones characters or something.
No, it'd be like doing a movie about a Kenyan marathoner and having a white dude.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, no, you don't race swap hockey players.
Okay, Rod, you get some good rest. We hope to see you around soon, and you should come by and do what was it, Great Gargoyle that he used to do, Eric? That when he was doing.
Yeah, it's he knows the invitation's always open.
We just have to get him in the group again.
Yep.
For the readings.
He's a good boy.
Because we do miss you, Rob.
I have to skip. I have to skip a few just to catch up here. I am way behind. Let's see what we got for you. Who do not know about Transformers, I highly recommend OG Transformers 1980 animated movie. I had to take my brother to see that. I was so lost. I did it again, too. When my kids were younger, they wanted to go see a My Hero Academia movie. And this is when Ashley broke her leg. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I had no freaking clue what was going on. I decided, you know what? I'm going to deliver food and drinks. That's going to be my job here today. Make sure my kids are comfortable while they watch their movie, because I had no idea. Let's see. Golden Age, Silver Age stories were only limited to the writer's imagination, says One Slick. Unlike today's stories, which have to be politically correct and woke. And that hurts. That does hurt it. I was telling Eric, we're watching, I haven't seen an episode since the third, but we're rewatching or watching a TV show called Soap. Me and Gail never really watched it when we were kids. Eric swears by it. Started watching it. It is one of the least PC things I've ever. It's like anti-PC. It goes out of the way to piss off the PC crowd. That's how great it is.
That crowd didn't exist in those days.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And that's how All in the Family was like that. It just, like I said, there were just, the list of taboo topics was very, very small in those days.
Yeah, but they did have people trying to get Soap taken off the air. The religious right, I think it was, that was doing that.
Yeah, I wonder if
I vaguely remember that.
They did, but I wonder if that was real, or in wrestling parlance, if that was a work.
Yeah, that's why I kind of wonder about something.
The show ever got great ratings. Yeah, and that's a shame, because it was just so well done.
That was appointment TV for me.
Yeah, and they canceled it on a cliffhanger. I mean,
they did
season 4, and
yep.
We never did get to find out if the mobsters got Bat. Remember, he's Bat Campbell by then, and Danny. Jessica was in front of the firing squad, and
with her Spanish lover.
Yeah, Gregory Sierra. I remember the famous. You dare to call the pig a dog?
So Spiffy is saying, let's race swap everyone here. He is black. Yes, I am. Maranya is Indian, American, or otherwise.
You want to be Indian?
And we're just gonna keep Fred Flintstone, because that's just what you yabba dabba do now in these situations. All right.
I don't think I would be Indian. I would rather if you're gonna race on me, make me mama. I'm gonna be your southern mama, honey.
And this is where we lose my channel.
Yeah, well, no. I didn't go into all the racial stereotypes, which I did on certain readings. I'm not gonna do that.
And Summoner is saying, today we went to the comic shop and my 7-year-old daughter picked out 2 comics, Powerpuff Girls, Thundercats #1, and a DuckTales comic featuring.
All right.
Sounds good.
You can actually get that. You can also get for your daughter. You can also get her Teen Titans Go is a good one, and the Saturday morning Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book is also. It might be a little violent in some parts, but I think she could still handle it, because it's like the cartoon.
Teen Titans Go is the closest thing in comics to Phineas and Ferb. You can be 5 years old or 65 and still get laughs out of them.
Oh yeah,
I'm continuously astounded at how well done those are.
Yeah,
now, I mean, I've never bought any for myself, but I can speak with some authority because I've read them all now.
Yeah, we've been reading them.
But those are so much fun.
Oh, agreed. Absolutely agreed. It's a shame that they don't have entry-level comic books for kids.
Well,
well, not like they did like the A's with or thereabouts with the Star line.
They
And even-
stopped doing that when everything ended up being direct market.
Not quite, because they did have.
Let me rephrase, because I used the 100% word. They started phasing it out at that
yes,
point
they did.
because
Yes, they
their
did.
audience wasn't general public anymore. Their audience was the 25, 26-year-olds now, and kid comics just started phasing out.
Well, they did still in the 2010s, 2011s, 2012s. They still had
No,
the
they
Marvel
tried with
Adventures.
Marvel Age. Yeah.
Marvel Adventures.
Marvel Adventures, yeah.
I actually subscribed to those, and they were actually quite good.
Let's see what we got here. Oh, and the shop owner surprised Summoner by gifting him a Dark Knight Returns book, #1 facsimile.
Oh.
Let's see. The new DC Comics didn't arrive today, and I couldn't get Dicko 5. DCKO 5. I'm sorry. I totally flubbed that one. Dicko 5. Okay. Yes. That's a book out there today. Let's see. What do we got? Hard agree. Like the new 52, they gave Aquaman a much needed power boost, but now he flip flops between loving Atlantis and going, oh my God, I don't like the culture of government society. I got to tell you, best run has been the Dan Abnett, still hold today. Mm-hmm. That being said, if you guys have not read Peter David's Aquaman, check that out. It was really, really good.
I think
I would go all the way back. I would go all the way back to the miniseries.
I think didn't Jeremy Adams write? Isn't he writing Aquaman 2, Eric? Eric would know because of the top.
Yeah. I just had the inevitable shift to my esophagus, so I was.
Oh dear.
I was dying for the last 2 minutes.
Okay, who is Jasmine Crockett?
She's the congresswoman from Texas who decided to run for the Senate. And on the off chance that the Democrats win that seat, we are all going to be sorry that she got primaried.
Oh.
The guy that won's a guy named James Tallarico. He says that Jesus was a radical feminist, that God supports abortion.
What?
He said he remembers being the only white teenage boy at a Planned Parenthood rally. This guy is off his fucking nut.
Oh boy.
But back to the subject at hand. Yes, Jeremy Adams is currently writing Aquaman. No, it isn't as good as Dan Abnett's, but I would say that Dan Abnett's wasn't as good as Peter David's. But Aquaman never suffers from a bad writer but it sees one of his characters is just never good. The only way you're going to get Aquaman to sell is put Absolute in front of it now.
Yeah.
Because
that is something.
There's Jeremy Adams, Dan Abnett, Jeff Johns, Peter David, Eric Larson's Aquaman was outstanding. Steve Skeets going back to the late 60s. I mean, it's since from that moment forward, David Michelini's first regular assignment was Aquaman in Adventure Comics. It's always been good, but it's just like it doesn't matter who you put on Hawkman; it's not going to sell.
Yeah,
that's just it's not fair, but that's the way it is, and not in all the promotion in the world. Because I like to bitch because everybody's promotions got cut off when Bendis decided to come all over DC. But prior to that, Venditti's Hawkman was getting full page ads in DC books. No one cared.
Venditti's Hawkman was the best thing running. And I think when we were voting, Hawkman was the best thing for the last decade.
Yeah, I would say the two best series,
wings.
The two best DC titles in the 2000s have been the first JSA of the two, because remember it got canceled and relaunched, and Venditti's Hawkman. I would say you could make a case for Hero, but it's I don't think it's as good as the other two. But and I'm saying that when DC for the first decade, the decade leading to New 52, the only character they were screwing up was Superman. Now, I disagree with Final Crisis, Grant Morrison. That was terrible. But there was a lot of really, really good comics from DC at the time. Problem was, Marvel was excellent at that time as well. So for about a 5-year window, from like 2005 through 2010, that's 6 years. Common Core. Both companies were doing really, really well, but Marvel was pounding DC into a fine pace sales wise. So DC, panicked, scrapped their line, and came back with New 52, with the exception of they pretty much left Batman and Green Lantern alone. And it got the obligatory, new car smell bump, but it didn't last. And then Marvel, discovered all new, all different, and they've sucked ever since.
Yep. But Marvel was like that during the 90s as well. DC was trouncing them in quality, but I think just people were so used. I know I'm speculating here, but it's like Marvel is bought by habit.
Oh, it is. Okay, I'll settle this with one sentence. They don't call anybody DC zombies.
Yeah,
I win.
There you go.
But that said, after the Image debacle, they put Wade back on Cap. They put Jurgens on Thor. They put Kurt Busiek on the Avengers and Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, well, they put Claremont on Fantastic Four, and all of those were very, very good books.
Oh yeah.
So the late 90s Marvel got well, but then when I think it was it was the owner that brought in Axel Alonso. No, who was the owner in the early 2000s? The guy that fought with Peter David. He was an asshat. And I mean, and it was
Marvel guy. Right?
Yes, I can't believe I can't remember the guy's name now. Yeah. But yeah, and then from about 2001 to 2004, there was very little at Marvel to like.
Phil Jester. Phil Jamas. P&J. I'm seeing a P&J.
Phil Jamas.
There you go. I knew there was a P and a J in his name.
Yeah, and then he ended up, but then he and Axel Alonso, the company they started, was very good for about 3 or 4 years. They did that that one with I sent you the miniseries, the lady that her daughter gets kidnapped and she goes on the rampage. What was that company called?
AWA. Yeah.
So I don't know if he learned his lesson or how that came to be, but they were dreadful for Marvel, and that's what allowed Joe Quesada to turn that around. And as much as I like to bang on him, if he hadn't lost his mind with One More Day and Brand New Day, his tenure at Marvel as EIC would be a lot better thought of, because the creativity was through the roof. I mean, the characters might have been written out of character, but the ideas were fantastic. The only problem is they've tried to repeat them ever since with far less talented people. So I said, when you think about all the cosmic stuff, Civil War, whether you liked it or didn't like it, it was it was a neat idea at the time. The Initiative, Secret Invasion, Dark Reign, Siege, all of that was woven together very well. And at the same time, you had, like I said, all the cosmic shit, World War, Planet Hulk and World War Hulk. I mean, they had a lot of really good things going on at the time. A lot of good X-Men events. But it's just, like I said, the last, now about 14 years of Marvel have been absolute garbage.
when, oh goodness gracious, drink. when we first started the group, not going to mention it, but when we first started the group, one of the things I said is we got to win because right now, I said all of this woke stuff started in 2013 with the all new, all different and all that kind of stuff. And I said, right now, there are people who've been reading comics for 5 years. They don't know any better. And I said, and those kids that were like 12 and 13 in just a little bit are going to be in their 20s, and that's it. They're going to think that's normal. You know, the poor storytelling, the over ham-fisted politics and everything.
You know why you were never
it happened at Marvel, definitely.
It's not even all, you can't even lay it all at the feet of the woke. The problem with something I said a few sentences earlier, lesser talented people, less talented people.
Yeah,
you can't make magic with pick a Stephanie as your writer, or pick a Steve, whether it's Orlando or Fox. They're just, Cody Ziegler. These people aren't good. They're there because they'll work cheap. They will write cheaper than Spanish artists worked in the 70s. So that was never going to happen. DC still publishes a lot of. If DC could just get the woke wing out of their company, they could probably take a lead on Marvel that will never be erased, because they all the best written books at DC from the big two are almost exclusively DC right now. And I'm not talking about the Absolute. Absolute is just, I think that's as much FOMO as quality, but they're fun. I read Absolute Batman. It was an absolute train wreck, but it was great. It was fun. And I got good money for them. I sold them in. I finally sold a stock at the right time.
Yeah. I have to fact check you.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, Tony Hayes comes in with his origin. The first comic books I owned was the Transformers 1-3 issues pack as a birthday present back in 1983-84. I still have them today, says Tony Hayes. I think it's kind of cool when I look on my bookshelf, my trade paperbacks mainly, and I'm like, holy crap, that's the original. I've got a V for Vendetta with a coffee stain on it that Gail did not respect. She was, for just a brief moment, she was reading comics, and that was one. And she put her coffee cup on my V for Vendetta, and I've got a ring now on it.
But the fact check
is the first time.
Say again?
Is that why you broke up the first time?
Yeah, that was the main reason.
There's only so much a man can take.
That was it. No, what happened then was we were just driving, having a family day, and Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell came on, and she says, "Turn this shit off." And that was that.
But the fact check, All New, All Different did not start in 2013.
Oh, okay.
It was 2015.
Okay. Point being.
Yeah, I know that's when things declined.
There was an all new, all different X-Men in 2012, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they said it was 2015.
Or because they did the one with all the X-women, and maybe they didn't call that all new, all different. But remember how the way they promoted it was, and all the women are completely covered up.
Oh,
that was gonna, and then that's when you realized they were gonna kick the boys out of a boy's habit and make it a girl brand.
I think we can all agree that the best comics are a toss-up between I Am Not Starfire and the comic characters Snowflake. Yeah, you know what? As a YouTuber, Spiffy, which, by the way, talk about your channel. I don't care. I think a lot of YouTubers lament the fact that they never put out the comic book of Snowflake in Safe Space. We would have had a field day. We would have loved it.
It is actually available somewhere. I forget where. I
want to see him put it out now, so Zach will defend it as being legitimately good.
I think
yeah. Richard, Zach, or our Zach?
No, Richard. By the way, E, I was putting some blues CDs up today, and I found one by a guy named Zachary Richard.
Oh,
I sent a picture to Zach and said, "He thinks you made a blues record."
That's funny. Let's see what we got. Man, The Kents is a fantastic comic. You guys got to read it. It really is. I remember that one.
I read it when it came out.
Yeah. Someone clipped that Bring quote. Bendis before I would bang on him. Or I like the before Bendis came all over DC. That's if you guys don't remember.
Yeah, I
months before Bendis arrived, he was like, Bendis is coming. Yeah, go on ahead.
I said Bendis, bang on Bendis, not bang Bendis.
Okay.
Oh, good Lord.
The Transformers was 4-issue limited series, says Tony Hayes. I had the first 3 issues. Scoring the issue number 4 was not easy. Spiffy Gonzalez says, Austin, exactly. I freaking hate what this site has become. Whatever happened to people doing this stuff for fun? I miss when YouTube was about creativity. I miss YouTube when they let you talk about whatever the hell you wanted. I get don't call to action. I understand that much. But YouTube just went. YouTube is worse than regular TV. Think about the things you see on shows like Mad Men and Walking Dead when they were on AMC and regular cable, and we can't show or we can't say half the shit. I mean, for fuck's sake, you've got dumbasses out there saying grape when they mean rape. I'm just saying, don't ever reduce that crime. You know, I don't know. Anyway. Let's see. I had to trade a kid around the block for some stuff to get the number 4 issue.
Wait a minute. Who let you trade a kid for a comic book?
I know, right? Somebody really wanted that kid, and now Tony Hayes' parents are like, "Where's your brother?" Yeah.
What am I Transformers for?
Yeah.
And then I freaked out when I saw issue number 5 of the local 7-Eleven. Holy shit, he says. At 12 years old, says Jackson, the first comic I got was Superman 283 and Fantastic Four 155. I felt talked down to by DC. Marvel gave me an exciting story that made me want to get more. I became a Marvel zombie. All right,
I just want to congratulate Jackson for being able to remember that far back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see.
And going back to the comic book thing, when I used to pick them up once a year, I almost never pick up a continued story, which was usually Marvel. So I usually ended up picking up DC because DC had a lot of one and dones. Because a lot of times they didn't have, like, if you had like a part 1 of a story from Marvel, they didn't often have part 2 and 3 on the rack still.
Oh, one Slick is saying he used to have the complete run of V for Vendetta. So did I. And then we get, hey, at least one person remembered my Transformer comic book history. Thanks, Summoner, says Tony Hayes. I remember following a guy that talked about the seed of modern comics were when Sana Amanat was DEI'd into Marvel. There was an article. And this is why Richard called himself Diversity in Comics. There was an article. He calls himself Diversity and Comics. The article was called Diversity in Comics. When I was talking to Captain Cummings, I said, holy shit, that is a brilliant name for a YouTube channel, because a lot of people were looking for that article. And when they did, they found Richard. That is about when the whole kit and caboodle blew up, but it was even before that article that wokeness had entered. I heard about it through a hangout with a live stream with Howler Mouse, and then I kind of went looking for more, and I found Captain Cummings and Captain Frugal chatting one night, and I was like, I'm gonna find something. I'm gonna put my 2 cents in on this, and my channel was reborn. My when I first started this, it was very much a whatever the hell I wanted to talk about channel, and a box unopening, because I had no fucking clue what I was going to do. So like, you remember we were getting those subscription boxes, Loot Crate.
Oh yes, yeah.
My favorite was one called Bento Box, which sent trade paperbacks every month, and I loved the trade paperback one, but Loot Crate I got tired of, because when you open one of those boxes, you got to be excited. And I'm like, hey, it's Army Men. Yay. Yeah, there was so much cheap crap in there. It's like, okay, well, the t-shirt's cool. Here's a Funko Pop. I guess that's okay. But after a while, I was like, I can't do the Loot Crate thing anymore. It was junk. It's like, wow. It's like when you get a mystery comic box and most of it'll be like, oh, you get one slab and then 100 other comics. And like the 100 comics are busted up Valiant. And then the one slab is like, Harbinger #1 slab, I guess. But it's like it's a product dump. Let's see. Spiffy E, I'm curious, what did your wife do when you met her about you being a nerd? She accepted it right away. I actually told that story a little bit earlier tonight. I had much like this right here, except for I didn't have frames. I just pinned the bag and backing board to the wall, and it was starting in the top. I guess that would have been the left-hand corner, going down and all the way down. It was from the highest valued all the way down to the lowest. And then I had action figures around the very top of my room, and Marvel treasuries, magazines, everything that I thought was cool. My wall was basically papered with comic books and geek stuff. And she walked in, she went, oh, and it was just like that. She says, oh, okay, this is cool. You could tell she was processing it when she said cool, but she was fine. I told her, I said, I was kind of embarrassed you saw my room like that. I'm a comic book geek. She didn't care. She didn't care one bit. So yeah, loved her. Love her. Let's see. That's not better, Breen. You're just digging a hole. Okay. Tony Hayes, you're welcome. I've got a pretty go talking about the Transformers thing. Did somebody knock at the door? Come on in. Nope. Okay. Let's see. These days, chicks are cool with it, but back in the day, even when I was in middle school, it was a massive turnoff for most chicks. Yeah, it really was. Go figure.
I was thinking, like I said, I was a reader, so basically, and it was art and reading. Why not?
Hey, if you can remember your first cover or cave painting, I can remember back to 1974, says Jackson. All righty. Spiffy,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
To be fair, chicks don't like a lot of things guys like to do, but you can't expect us to suddenly just not like doing these things. I saw one. I like these videos where you get, I don't know why, Gail. I guess they're my version of Gail watching the husband murder movies. Gail loves to watch movies where women murder their husbands and all that kind of stuff. My guilty pleasure is I watch these women hitting the wall videos. Go figure. I think I always think, I could do this. Maybe I should do a dating advice kind of thing, for fuck's sake. Been married 30 years. But what was I saying? I forgot why I was bringing up this. God damn it. Never mind. What the
wait.
To be fair, chicks don't like, but you can expect. Oh yeah, that's right. I hear some girls that are saying, oh, my ick. By the way, a girl saying this is an ick, stop it. If they talk like TikTok, leave them. I told Gail she should never talk like TikTok because that's the last moment. And then she said, IRL? LOL. Yeah. No, but they're talking about how video games now, if a guy plays video games, that's an ick. And there was like a whole bunch of women bitching and complaining about their men playing video games. They're like, are they fucking other women? Are they doing drugs? Are they alcoholics? Are they no? Just give them their fucking moment. Jesus Christ.
Let them have their hobbies, but if it takes over completely to the point where they're missing work,
if that's all they do.
Then you can give edge. But if it's when they do it when to stress relief, better they do that than do other things.
Austin says, I'm starting to think that most of these comic characters have a 30-year-old maximum before becoming played out and overcomplicated. or even having a really bad run. Every character's had a bad run, but I wouldn't give up on a character 30 years in, because think about it. Batman was what, 1939, 1940?
1939, because Superman was 38.
38. And 30 years in that, after that, it was what? You got 69. You're still what, 15 years away, 16 years away from Dark Knight Returns, Batman Year One, and the big. I mean, even in the late 60s, early 70s, that's when you have Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil coming in. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'll say it till the end of time. There are no bad characters. There are just bad writers and artists. That's what kills them. Let's see. Like, Friend's wife isn't into guns, but he still goes shooting at the range and has a rack of guns. Gail really came to accept this hobby for me when we needed rent, and I went and I sold a whole bunch of books. I used to, whenever we needed money, I would go out to a flea market, plop up a whole bunch of books I was willing to sell, and here's the money. And she was like, hey, okay. Although right now she really, really wants me to stop buying books, because we've got way too many books in our, I'm clearing out a space downstairs. I can take them all out too, but it's just getting too much.
Yeah.
I'm thinking what I'm going to do, like maybe Thursdays, not every Thursday, but maybe Thursdays I'll have some 50-cent sales or some 25% off sales or something like that, to get rid of a lot of the books I bought in that one big buy. You know, I bought like 8 long boxes for $200. Yeah, it was too good of a deal. But I know if I sell some, if I know I could sell 50 cents, and at this point I made the $200 back, so it's all profit at this point. And it would help get rid of some books for Gail. Let's see. If I were to make my own comic book publishing company, I would give the writers a 30-year maximum limit for a character story have an ending. I would like one of these things where they reboot everything. We're going to reboot Batman and the All-Star or whatever it's called these days. I would like them to have consequences. I think that would be awesome. We're going to reboot the DC universe, but this time someone dies. That's it. So don't call for this. Don't call for that. Don't make it, oh, they died, but I'm going to bring him back. No, you are fucking not. If you write a story where your hero or your villain appears to die, you have to leave clues that that's what happened. I would definitely like to see consequences. Kind of like a what do you call it? A soap opera, since these are our soap operas. Yeah. But then again, even soap operas have nutty returns.
Yeah. You have recastings. You have, you also have the Chuck Cunningham syndromes. And also, what is it? What's that one about the aging, Eric? You know what I'm talking about.
Soap opera rapid aging syndrome.
Yeah.
They do it as well.
Sorry, Spiff. She already stepped out. That was my daughter. E's sleeping with one eye open, usually. Absolutely, E. A girl saying the word ick is my ick suddenly starts using brain rot language. Yeah. It's a whole new ball game out there. E. Couldn't imagine. Couldn't imagine dating today. I don't even want to. But I've got a different view. Even when I was younger, the body wasn't wandering, but the eye did. I don't even bother with that anymore. I mean, I could recognize a pretty picture. If I'm looking at a young lady and she's pretty, I could recognize she's pretty. It's just the head isn't on a swivel anymore. It's just, it's kind of odd, because I would have made fun of someone like how I am now. When I was younger, I would have made fun of it. Oh, they're not looking. Oh, they're not interested. But it's okay. It's just like one of the things that really keeps me away from being interested in younger women. One, I've got daughters who are 30. And two, I can't fucking imagine talking to a 20-year-old seriously. Jesus.
These days? No.
Oh my gosh. Who wants? I don't even think, 20-year-old men want to do that. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. Dr. Doom seems pretty bad, says Rhaegar. I don't know what it is. Austin says, here's the thing. By the time Superman and Batman were getting up there in years, they rebooted. That's true. That is true. My greatest opposition is now 7 years old and is a great shot. We wage money on shots. What?
I guess they're like basketball.
Oh, okay.
Or baseball.
It's me or the comics. That's what my ex-wife said. I don't know. You had an ex-wife. I do now. Yeah. He skipped my funny comment. I'm sorry. Tell whoever knocked at the door. I actually acknowledged that one. My daughter unfortunately left. I got to it too late. Tired getting my wife into my hobbies, but we ended up finding new ones that we both enjoy. But not only does she not mind my hobbies, comics, cartoons, fishing, she actually gives me great gifts. Gail does too.
My husband does the same thing.
This Christmas, I got Superman versus Lois, not Superman versus Lois, Superman and Lois, the TV show. The Charlie Brown specials. They've got a DVD set which has all 40 Charlie Brown TV
and there
specials.
are all 40.
Yeah. Holy crap. It's fantastic. Oh, and Fantastic Four. Yeah, the movie that came out last year. Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh.
Let's see. Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, was dead for 20 years in real time, says Tony Hayes. Let's see. The ball game is old. The rules are new, says Rhaegar. My brother is dating scene right now. It's a little rough, but so far this one he's with seems pretty cool. I was actually surprised to get right. Everybody who got married in my family around the same time me and Gail did, they're all divorced. They're all separated. My cousin has been dating. I don't know. I told him, man, you should try everything to keep your marriage. Yeah, he's okay. I'm not worried about dating a girl getting turned off by my comics and other geeky interests. There's plenty out there who either don't have a problem with it. Well, it's a different time. It is a different time. You're talking about apples and oranges. It's a different time back when I was meeting Gail and everything. Comic books were not as accepted. Granted, we had the Batman movie. Everybody loved Batman. You'd say, oh, I read Batman. Oh, okay. Yeah, fine. That's cool. You read, I don't know what was back in the night. Amazing Man was around at that time. No. Especially if they see what Amazing Man was. Let's see. As a man, getting girls is hella easy. They already like men, says Summoner. If you have the confidence. There you go. Anyway, I talked a lot and read a lot of comments. You two talk.
Let's see. Well, I can say with certainty that my husband and I, we both met through a fandom, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. With snail mail. We were members of a Star Wars club, and they had a mailing list, and he sent me a letter, and I wrote him back, and we started writing each other. Then we graduated to phone calls. Then we met in January of '92. That's about 3 months after we started writing. And we met, and he said, will you marry me? And I said, sure. And we got engaged that day, and we got married a little over a year later, in November of '93. And we've been together ever since, through hardships and good times and all that stuff. So yeah, but we do have geekdoms. He does like the superhero movies. He would take me to go see the superhero movies. So and he liked them. His big guy is Captain America. So he was really upset when they made him Hydra. So
Austin saying another channel he follows met his wife at a Star Trek convention in the 70s. Cool. Last call with Troy Pacelli.
Yeah, we actually, like I said, met through snail mail of all things.
Gail does this. I don't want to go see superhero movie. I don't want to see superhero movie. Let's not go see superhero movie. Well, go see superhero movie for me. Okay, we'll go see superhero movie. Mm-hmm. Well, that was good. That's every time she fights like a freaking because she fights tooth and nail. Did not see it, but then she enjoys it. She actually enjoyed Shang-Chi better than I did. There are a couple that she likes more than I did. Yeah.
Oh, I saw they have some of the AI castings for some of the Avengers movies, and in one of them they had Bruce Lee in the AI as Shang-Chi. I was like, oh my god, that would have been so perfect.
Those are so cool.
Yeah, there was
the
one
1960s, 70s things. Yeah.
They had 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And I forget which year it was, but they had Charles Bronson as the Punisher. It was so freaking perfect.
I could see that. That's awesome, Eric. Been reading it decades later and still feel it's fresh.
Reading what? I already forgot what I was talking about.
You are a first generation reader, and I'm discovering it now and loving it. I'm catching up.
It's probably the Golden Age stuff.
Yeah.
But he was talking about that, not me.
Yep.
Oh, Howard Hughes is classic. That they actually, Stan Lee did actually base him on Howard Hughes partly. So, but in the one I saw from the 1950s, they had Cary Grant as Iron Man. But the two of the best ones were they actually had it where they had the classic mustache look. One year was Burt Reynolds, and the other one was Tom Selleck. And I went, yes, but when they had Tom Cruise as Iron Man, sorry, no, it doesn't work. He's too pretty boy.
Tony, you'd probably have to settle for an inaction figure with. Now I'm just sitting on the couch eating a donut or something.
Oh yeah.
You would have to do like you know those Simpsons set figures where you would have like Apu behind the Quickie Mart counter. That would how it would have to be with us with Eric's couch, me with a wall and so forth. So
okay, do we have time for today in really effing stupid?
Let's hear today
in
really effing stupid.
As opposed to that Neil Adams says. Let's hear it, Eric.
Okay. America's conscious Ariana Grande.
Oh yes.
Released a post and said, love to Muslims, F white supremacy. This is a woman who had a concert she was doing have a terror attack where 22 members of her audience were slaughtered.
Yep. She's a dumbass.
That's shouldn't be let out without a keeper, stupid.
That's not even.
Does anybody remember Wizard Magazine's casting call? I used to love that.
I don't think I've ever read Wizard Magazine. So no, I do not remember.
I do, and that was fun. David Mazzucchelli modeled his Bruce Wayne face in a Batman Year One on Gregory Peck. Ooh. And he has practice sketches of it. Says Austin, that is cool. You can't fix stupid, but you can lay it out cold with a 2x4.
Oh wait, no, it was actually Cary Grant that was the 50s Iron Man. Cary Grant.
Somebody responded to that tweet and said she doesn't have a lick of sense. I actually replied and said she did, but she left it on the donut.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, that's bad.
All righty. Well, kids, we have been at this for $1.47 and
thereabouts, yeah.
Say again?
Yeah, it's about thereabouts, yeah.
Yep. So I'm gonna call it here and
okay.
Let's see. What should we talk about next week, Eric? Do you have an idea for a topic?
I don't really.
Somebody mentioned something, and it reminded me of a time when we had a hurricane in Florida. Mm-hmm. And I got to sit down and basically what we would call binge watch an entire series. So I would like to know, what is your most bingeable comic book title? But here's I like to add a little rules. It has to be a series, not a mini series.
Oh,
like it might be a run, but it's got to be a good run. Yeah.
Okay. I've got 3.
I think that would be fun. All righty. With that, kids, thank you very much for hanging out with us. What are we doing on Friday? I think Friday.
Is it going to be another comic ranking?
The fun, isn't it? But I forget what it is. It's going to be Batman Beyond. So join us for that. And idea, ask people to name a series that were good but disappeared. Ooh, favorite dead. I like that better, Eric. How about that? Favorite dead title.
Oh, that one that ended and they haven't picked it up since.
Yeah, it's not like oh well, you know, they canceled Batman and then reinstated it in New 52. I mean something that was there. It was supposed to be a series and it's gone.
No, what not? I can think of one that was a series, but then they just ended it. So
there you go.
Actually, two.
All righty, and with that, kids, thanks for hanging out. And as always, another good one would be Comics You Bought Because of the Cover. But there you go. All right, you guys have a great time as always. Thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good night.